Hi there, Nigel Saunders of KW Bonsai. Today we're looking at my Yucca Bonsai. I have two Yucca Bonsais on the go, and I wouldn't say they're exactly successful. It's a challenging tree to turn into a bonsai, especially here in Canada. Every tree has a story behind it, and this one's no exception. I was walking home one day, and at the side of the road was there was about 3 yucca trees, quite tall, that were just bare rooted, lying at the side of the road for the garbage. And by the looks of the soil, they had been there for probably 2 or 3 days. The soil was completely dry around the roots, and yeah, like it was bare rooted, and it was just totally dried out. So I thought, what the heck, it had a thick trunk on it. You can see the thickness of the trunk, and I thought, well, I'll try rooting it. You never know. So I did that. I took it home. I cut the top off on an angle, right about here, and planted it, and it grew. It grew a new leader coming up here, and there's another sprout that came out at the base down here. So I've been clipping growing it, trying to get multiple branching on it. And if we go up top here, just zoom out a bit. So here, one time I had, the one branch dividing into, I think, 3. And I pruned the tops off them and was hoping more sprouts would come out and I'd get sort of a canopy on top, but it wasn't happening. These just turned into stubs, dried up. They're still alive down here, but not growing. So I thought, well, next time I'll let them grow really vigorously. And I tried it again, and it just doesn't seem to work very well. The results are kind of unpredictable. Sometimes you get what you want. Sometimes when you cut the one, it'll divide into 2 or 3. Sometimes when you cut it, it just grows a single leader out of it. So I put it in a bigger pot, and I'm hoping in the bigger pot that the root mass will grow in size, so when I do cut the top, it'll support more growth, and I'll have more success with my subdividing. So the tree is still inside, and I've been meaning to move it outside for a long time. I just haven't got around to it, so today is the day. And before I move it outside, I'm going to prune the tops off and then put it in the full sunlight. And I'm hoping, the warmth of summer is coming. I'm hoping I get some good growth on it. Even some, back budding in some of these dormant sections here. So, as always, it's a bit of an experiment. I would say so far, my Yucca Bonsai is, I don't know, not a failure, but semi-successful, I guess. The tree does have some good stuff happening on it. The root base is actually getting a really nice spread on it. I am going to be removing this moss today. If I put the tree outside, this moss is just going to turn brown anyway. It's any moss that's grown indoors, it takes quite a transition to get used to the outdoors. So I'm really happy with the flare at the root base. I'm getting some nice cracking on the bark. It was originally it was really smooth when I got the tree. The first work we'll do on the tree is removing this moss. I'm going to remove it for 2 reasons. I mean, it might survive if I transitioned it to the shade and kind of got it used to growing in the sun, but I don't want the moss on the surface because I want to be able to see the soil and how dry it's getting. With yuccas, it's very important to water them thoroughly and then let the soil dry out. They're kind of like they grow in an arid environment usually. The trees do grow aerial roots when it's humid out. And I'll show you one that was forming. Yeah, so right here there's a aerial root that's growing down. I did have a big one that came off right from here that did reach the ground, but then it dried up anyway. I don't know why, but it did. So yeah, they will grow aerial roots when it's humid out. I'm just scraping the soil away from the root base. The level of the soil is a little high, so I'm going to reduce the top layer down. So we'll have to prune away a few of these surface roots just to get our soil level down a bit. Most of these roots at the surface are a bit dried up anyway. I've got the soil down to a nice level now, so I'm just going in and pruning off these surface roots that are sticking up out of the soil, just to clean the soil surface up. I've got the soil surface cleaned up and at a good level in the pot. The next operation, I'm going to pick the moss off the trunk that's grown around it. You can see where the moss was growing kind of around the base of the tree here. It stayed a little too wet. Moss is growing on the trunk and it's kind of, it's damp there. You can use a toothbrush to kind of brush the trunk down. I think we'll spray some water on it too. Give it a good proper cleaning. It's looking much better. We have the base of the tree cleaned up, the soil cleaned up, so it's looking good up to about here. So now we're going to do our big chopping. I've been letting these stalks or branches, trunks, grow all last summer and all through the winter. So they've gained enough energy, I hope, that we can cut them back severely. We'll try anyway. In past, I've let them grow taller, cut them back, and had poor results. So I don't know if it's a matter of the conditions, if it just wasn't hot and sunny enough out, or what it is. But we're going to try it. We're going to cut it back severely, put it in the full sun, and hopefully we'll get a bunch of new growth on the tree. So we'll see. So here we go. We're going to cut them off quite short. We're going to go right into the old wood here. Here we go. Timber. These, if you want to grow more, they root really easily as cuttings. I have 2 Yucca Bonsais, and for me that's quite enough, I think. So let's do this trunk next. We're going to come in right about here. There, cut that one off. These leaves on it, the edge of them is like a fine razor saw. So be very careful you don't run your hand along the leaves here, because they'll just rip your hand right open. They're very sharp. And our final trunk, we're going to cut this one back to, I think, right down to here. Like that. So there we are. I'm going to cut back. There's a dead section on top here. I'm going to cut back to the live wood, to there. And I'm going to do the same on here. There we go. That looks good. So there's our cuts. You can see the live wood on our 4 points here, and the one back here, I hope you can see. Yeah. Maybe a little out of focus. You can seal these cuts, and I probably will. I think I will do it right now. If you don't seal them, you'll get some dieback. They'll dry out and you'll get some dieback. So I want to seal them, and I want to seal them with like a cut paste that dries. I've tried Vaseline in the past. It doesn't work. It starts rotting away at the top here. I've tried some pruning wax. I got the same thing. It just started rotting away. So I think I'm going to go in with some kind of paint or something. Maybe even a latex paint would work. I'll have to look around for something. For the cuts, I'm going to try the white woodworking glue. I know a lot of people have used this, especially in the tropics, and they say it works well. I've never tried it, but here we go. That should seal the surface. That's all the work we'll be doing on this tree today. I'm going to put it out in the full sun. I'm going to give it a thorough watering, and then we'll let the soil dry out between waterings and give it another thorough watering. So we'll treat it sort of like a succulent or a cactus, and that will let the soil, dry out really well, and then water it thoroughly again. Before we go, I'll show you my other Yucca Bonsai that I'm working on. Here's my second Yucca Bonsai. This tree was originally cut right here, very close to the base. And over the years, the branches have grown up and they've pretty well healed this wound completely from the original cut. You can just see kind of a hollow still. This one does have some aerial roots that have grown to the ground. I don't know if they're still alive or not, I'm not sure. They look kind of hard and wiry. I think they're still in the soil firmly, so they probably are alive. At one time I had a fairly nice crown on this tree. I had I probably had about 5 upright shoots coming off, forming kind of a crown. It was growing really, really well, so I cut it back, and my 5 shoots on the top, only 2 came out again. So I was kind of back to square one. But we'll keep trying. I mean, I enjoy growing these trees. I get as much fun out of these Yucca Bonsais as I do any other bonsai. So that's my second one. Today we're going to do a similar thing. We're going to cut it off, seal all our wounds, and then get it outside on the bench in the sun. So I'll cut the tops off now. There's one. And the next one will be right here. There we go. These cuts that I'm doing here, they do heal over, and I'll show you one that has healed over here. Here's 2 of the cut points that have healed over, this one and the one down here. They've healed over with like a bark-like color and texture. Completely healed and sealed themselves. So that's it today. We've dabbled into the world of Yucca Bonsai. We'll be doing updates on these trees as they hopefully grow their foliage in. So Nigel Saunders of KW Bonsai, do something green today. Buy something used instead of buying it new. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.